All right, peace, 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 family. How's everybody doing? I hope that you all are having a wonderful night so far. It's actually evening. Oh no, wow. It's 9 o'clock. I had no idea what time it was. I hope that you all are having had a wonderful day. How about that? I am on part 2 of the astrology for 2022. Today I'm going to be discussing Venus, Trine, Uranus, and Jupiter conjunct Neptune. I feel like, so I know that you guys are probably like, we tired of hearing about this Venus transit, because I think there are like 3 videos out on this, but I really think that you're going to like this perspective. Excuse me. So I don't think that I have any updates on anything at the tippity top of my head. I did do the insecurities and relationships live with Miss Tierra at A Day of Royalty. If you wanted to go check that out on her page. That was a great discussion. I do have all my advertisements now in the video, so if you're watching this, you should be able to see everything that I'm doing advertised in these videos. Sometimes I just do post, but if you want to know what's going on, making sure you're paying attention to what's going on on these lives, I have all my advertisements there. And yeah, man, I think that's about it. So I'm just going to jump right on in. So Venus will trine Uranus when it goes direct on January 29th of 2022. If you think back to what was going on with you back in January, you'll be revisiting that from the end of December until March of 2022. But overall, this transit is about finding practical ways to show your love and appreciation and affection to others. It's a commit or get out kind of energy. You want something solid long term and something that's going to stand the test of time. And also the Pluto conjunction is about deep loyalty and deep intimacy in relationships. If you don't have those things in the relationships, in the houses that these transits are playing out in, these things will be up for review. And so at the end of the Venus, when Venus trines Uranus, you'll be able to easily apply the lessons of this transit. Now, I really, really, really liked this, especially for what was coming up for me. Not necessarily in January, but the things that was coming up for me in December, because, you know, for me, these transits are always about reviewing and understanding me, how I'm changing, you know. And so this is how I kind of test myself and hold myself accountable to the things that I say that I want in my life, and whether or not that's showing up for me. And when I see these things, what it really, really helps me do is know, like, I'm on the right track. So the things that I had coming up for me in December are definitely things that I'm looking forward to experiencing more of and getting more pieces to the puzzle once this transit ends. So I'd love to hear people's stories on this. Are you experiencing the same, or do you still have more work to do? Venus will sextile Neptune 3 times on November 30th, January 5th, and February 24th. So November 30th of 2021, I just want to make that clear. That date has already passed. January 5th of 2022 and February 24th of 2022. You'll be able to put yourself into someone else's shoes, because Neptune dissolves all boundaries, which makes it so that we are more empathic, compassionate to others' experiences. This is also evaluating the charitable acts that you do. You can get a lot of deals or ideas on gifts that you can craft, or get things for yourself. So again, deepening relationships with people you want in your life, people that are solid and have your back. Sorry about that. So when Venus goes direct, you will choose to go about relationships in a different way, or let go of relationships. And again, I just really, really, really liked that. Honestly, on either side, however that pans out for me, because again, I'm looking at the bigger picture of, like, I'm getting closer to my dreams. I'm getting closer to my goals. And that just, like, lit up my whole life. So, Jupiter will conjunct Neptune on April 12th of 2022. The last 3 times that happened were May 2009, July 10th of 2009, and December 21st of 2009. And so if you can remember back that far what was happening for you, you'll probably get more stories to this, whatever that was, and or you'll be wrapping that cycle up and finalizing what that is and opening up a new cycle for that, whatever that was for you. This can bring false hope and things that are not rooted in reality. The good news is that this is going to be sextile with Capricorn, so we will be a lot more discerning about our hopes, which is a good thing, because Neptune oftentimes can make us, the rose-colored glasses, but from a collective point of view, Neptune shows us our collective insanity and how we are sheep. Are you a follower or a leader? So we are blinded, and we put our faith in things that we don't see clearly. It's calling us to become more spiritual collectively, and to take the time out to make sure we're not being bamboozled. That's how I'm going to leave that. To stop being a follower, right? That's what Uranus is helping us do with this transit. Stop being a follower. What do you want? And really assessing that for yourself and standing in that. But we can we may be drawn to study spirituality, how to connect to the divine, learning more about our faith and broadening our horizons. Our cultural experiences will be changing. The film industry could be And I know this is really repetitive because I literally just recorded the Neptune direct. But a good way to think about this is, first and foremost, let me say I apologize for the repetitiveness. And secondly, I'd like to say to think of this as, again, if you are somebody who wishes to learn more about astrology, what this really proves is that astrology is repetitive. That is how you learn astrology. And so the more you hear it, connect it to whatever sign and energy that I'm relating it to, so that way you'll know for your own reference when you start to look at your chart that these are the things that may or may not be coming up for you. Okay, so so we may be drawn to study spirituality, how to connect to the divine, learning more about our faith and broadening our horizons. Our cultural experiences will undoubtedly be changing for the better, I hope, but honestly, this could go both ways. It really depends on where you are in your life and what you believe in and how you're challenging yourself and who's holding you accountable for that, to make those changes. This can bring some things about the film industry, like reality TV shows can change in some kind of way, or there could just be new types of films. There can be a new era for pulp culture, new talent shows. The media and the music industry are definitely going to change. I talked about that. Especially around hip hop and blues. The art industry can come back. And there could be like more 3D art. But overall, people can be having dreams of the past or visions or deja vu. Or this could just simply be like a renewed passion for the people, for society. So this is, and all those themes would actually be good things to invest in if you're into investments. So I know that I mentioned the oil prices would go up in that Neptune direct video again, but this is 2022, so that's just another indication that unfortunately it just doesn't look like it's going to be changing anytime soon. And it could be the opposite too. It doesn't necessarily have to be just going up. Secrets around aliens and supernatural things, or movies around these things, self-development, connecting to the inner self, are definitely going to be themes on the horizon. Esoteric topics, family. If you are really interested in the esoteric, I strongly suggest you invest in taking a class with Dr. Nateri. Now, her class is in Boston, but as you know, with everything that's going on, a lot of businesses are now online. So literally, it doesn't matter where you are. You can take the class if you really are interested. Like I'm taking this part of the class anyways for the second time. And I'm just blown away at how differently I view it now than from when I did the first time I took it. It's really been very, very, very enlightening. That's what I'm going to say about that. And how are we integrating those spirituality and esoteric topics into our daily lives? That's the most important piece. So Neptune rules travel, but by ocean, and Jupiter is long distance travel. So together they can both be travel through the mind, dreams, meditation, deja vu, dreaming about the area of life that this is in. So also doing like vision boards and having realistic goals. Using this energy for that is going to be just magnificent. And on the lower vibration, I promise you I could say so much more about the lower vibration, but the thing that obviously came up to me the most was just be careful with your any business deals that you do, or anytime you have a Neptune transit, because unfortunately on the lower vibration it's deceit, and somebody could be trying to steal from you, especially when it comes to all of these themes that I'm talking about. So like religious people or a guru telling you they're going to give you something, you're going to get something out of it, and unfortunately it just may not be true. So just be careful with that. So spirituality is obviously going to be a major topic, but the search for truth through exploration. So we could see regulations in our judicial system, especially around substances like psychedelics that take you to a different dimension and using it for treatment. In the Neptune direct video, I did talk a little bit about how we could see some new medicines for COVID. Again, it's typically not what I would say is going to happen, just because, like I said, the government's not really here to help. So, but it could be outside of mainstream media. I'm pretty sure that there are people out there who have some remedies for this stuff. Like Dr. Sebi had a remedy for AIDS. So, I guess if you're searching for anything's possible. That's what I'll say about that. But just more healthier treatments in general too, for all things. I think we can see with this. There could be a surge of drug use because Neptune rules sedatives that relax you, like alcohol. There could be treatment for substances and dependencies. So definitely, what possibilities with CBD, right? CBD. Or investing in that. Any kind of natural healing modalities. But intentions to change the healthcare system and the prison system. I did a video way back when. I can't really remember when the heck it was, but it was a while ago. I think it might have been back in 2020. And I remember talking about how the same way I was referring to like the universal stuff, that there could be a possibility for like the prison systems to shut down. They close them down, perhaps for financial purposes, but then they'll take like a whole set of projects and put inmates in there for stay-at-home prison time, and that could be the foreseeable future for what prison looks like. And I still think that that's gonna hold up, but who knows when? Who knows when? Court cases in the past that involved religious rights, so we can see more things of that coming up at this time. Now, this transit is at 23 degrees, and so is the North Node and the South Node. There can be an interest in travel, spiritual wisdom, religious beliefs, conforming traditions, institutions, global gains. And the places that this is going to hit the most is United Kingdom, Australia, USA, France, and Israel. And the reason why I named those places and I included that in this information is because I thought it was important to know what countries to look at so that you can see the different ways that these things are playing out. I always find it very interesting when I see a lot of these other countries, to hear what they're going through and how these things could be playing out for them. But the financial world can be affected the most. Money laundering and prostitution, bonds, alliances, can come up. Romance and marriage, political sex scandals, child abuse and porn, female power. I talked about that already. And again, past life regression, Reiki, healing, and spiritual growth. All these themes we could see coming up in any one of these countries at this time. So that kind of covers everything that I had on this transit. As always, family, I hope that you're finding this information helpful. We'll obviously be going over these things all over again next year. So I don't expect anybody to remember all this stuff, but I think it's really good to have a heads up and know, like, where we're seeing all these changes, and giving ourselves some time to think about how we want to move forward. Maybe even using it to be like, oh, okay, well, I can use this for my New Year's resolutions, things like that. If you just don't know, like, what's the purpose or what's the point, try and be creative and use it to your advantage as best as you can. Nothing's written in stone, but there's nothing like having a good plan and something to fall back on just in case. So, as usual, family, I love and appreciate you. And again, I hope you find this information helpful. Peace.